a predatory lender.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself in a situation where I was actually bringing people into my office and saying, this is why you should not take this loan. And so I knew that that meant I was not going to have a job very long. But in good conscience, the products that we were offering, I could not give to people
I see.
or offer to people. And so I prayed a prayer and I said, God, if you get me out of this, I will never take another job that you did not send me to.
Ah, that's
And
good.
yeah, and I stumbled on a newspaper article, saw a job advertisement for a local nonprofit. It was a program for first-time home buyers where we were going to help people who were homeless over a period of 5 years purchase their first home. And so the rest, as they say, is
Yeah. I believe that's where I first came in contact with you and met you when you were with that organization.
yes, yes,
Yes. And so you stepped out on faith.
I did, I did, and never looked back. And I have enjoyed a wonderful career.
Good.
Um, yeah.
Good. So tell us, what things do you have to share with us? We're in the midst of this pandemic.
Mhm.
A lot of people, they've lost their jobs. A lot of people are afraid that, they may lose their jobs. There's a lot going on right now with COVID-19, but I do believe that we can still have a positive relationship with money through this.
Absolutely. So there are 5 things that I'd like to touch on this afternoon, just very briefly. And they're not necessarily in any particular order,
Okay.
but I'm going to start off with create a budget for yourself.
Okay.
It's extremely important to sit down and write out your expenses and your income. You know, your what you have coming in and what you have going out. Whether you decide you want to do that pen and paper, or there are lots of apps that are available for you to do that. But it's important to at least know where you stand. A lot of my clients that would come to me, they're like, I have it in my head. And I'm like, well, one of the first things you need to do is get it out of your head so that we can look at it, because it actually brings a point of clarity when you actually write it down and see it before you
Right.
versus when you're just walking around with it in your head. So that's the
Right.
first thing I'm going to say around budgeting. The other thing I'm going to say about budgeting is that it actually creates a sense of control for you, right? Oftentimes with our budgets, it is what it is, right? You have a limited amount of income, you have expenses. And so I try to not use the word budget so much, it's just habit. I try to use the word spending plan, right?
Okay, that's good because a lot of people have this thing about budget.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, budget sounds so restrictive, right?
It
Like
does.
diet, right?
Right.
So a spending plan is something that you are in control of, because that's actually what's supposed to happen, is that we are supposed to be the ones who direct where every dollar we have coming into our household goes. We're supposed to tell this dollar, you're going over here, you're gonna do this. Instead, when we don't have a plan in place, money kind of dictates to us what we're gonna do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know that to be true just from personal experience.
Mhm.
If you because you get your paycheck, um and you got certain bills that you're going to pay, so you're going to pay those, but still the money that's left over, a lot of times I find myself just spending it because it's like extra,
Right.
which in reality it really should not be just extra. I mean, you should be doing something with it.
Absolutely. Um, as it relates to the extra, the discretionary income that you have left over after you've paid all your expenses, hopefully you're also setting something aside in savings, right? Which
Mhm.
leads to step number 2 or tip
Okay.
number 2. is to set aside something for savings. You started off by saying that some people have lost their jobs. Some people are fearful about losing their job. So you have a group of people that are saying, I can't afford to save, right? And then you have people that are not saving, perhaps out of fear, right? Or they think that they can't, they don't have enough to save. So what I, tell my clients is that the idea is to just start small. So typically the recommendation is if you can, you save 10 to 12% of your take home in savings,
Okay.
right? But if you can't afford to do that, even if you're just setting aside $5, the idea is to start and to create the habit. The other thing I want to say with savings right now, especially in the midst of COVID-19, cash is king. Think about that. You want to make sure that you have cash on hand. And what I mean by that is, yes, you want to do your automatic savings, to your financial institution. But we're in a time where this is an opportunity for a reset, and it's also a time to get back to the basics, if you will. I grew up, around my grandparents, spent a lot of time with older people, old folks, and they saved money under the mattress or tucked it
Right.
in a drawer somewhere. And so I've been telling my clients and my friends, you need to have some cash on hand somewhere that you can get to easily. You can't always get to the bank right away.
Right.
But it's important to have some savings set aside. If you can, 3 to 6 months, some people recommend 6 to 8 months worth of expenses set aside and save. Again, I know that may not necessarily be realistic, but the idea is to create the habit. LaWanda, I was reading a statistic a couple days ago where it says that 39% of Americans don't have savings, and they don't have
Wow.
enough to cover an emergency that's $400, right?
Wow.
And
Yeah.
so, we're in a time where there is no surety. And so we have to begin to think differently, which I want to, talk about before we close out today, is really adjusting our mindset during this time.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, we will definitely we'll put a pin there because
Okay.
that's what we're all about is shifting that mindset. So yeah, we'll put a pin there and we'll come back to that one.
Okay.
Okay.
So step number
So
3 is contact your creditors, right? Oftentimes, we think I don't have it. When I get it, they'll get it.
right.
And let me say this to be transparent, with people. Struggled with my own financial issues. So a
Uh-huh.
lot of what I bring to coaching is what I've gone through myself and the lessons
Right.
that I've had to learn. And so I had that mindset. I was the person that didn't open the mail. You know, I knew what it was. I knew it was a bill,
Right.
right? And
You
you're
knew
gonna get
what they wanted.
exactly. And so I had to change my mindset about that. But contact your creditors. They are more willing, especially now, to work with you. Lots of places. I know Dominion Energy, for us here locally, they're not turning off anybody's power, your cell phone. They're not turning off your cell phone right now. Um, so, there are lots of creditors that are willing to work with you. So just call them. And again, having that budget, one of the reasons the budget is so powerful is because you've already sat down and you know where you stand. You know how much extra you have left over. And so
Right.
you know that that's something that you may be able to put towards a particular bit, right? You can have
Right.
a more realistic conversation. And so just a few tips around specifics for your debt is concerned. Um,
Let me ask you this. You know, you had mentioned that there are a lot of creditors who are working with people, you know, some people who have not lost their jobs, things are just the way they were before COVID-19.
right.
And they may be thinking that, well, since they are being lenient, maybe I should do that. But I'm just wondering if that's a good thing. I mean, if you still have your job and you're able to make your monthly payments, should
Mhm,
you continue doing that, or should you try and take advantage of, I know that some companies are saying, okay, like with a mortgage company, they may be saying, okay, we're not charging finance interest right now.
mhm,
And maybe they're doing that across the board, but I'm just wondering if there are persons out there who think that maybe they should take advantage of not paying Dominion Power right now.
mhm,
What is going to happen at the end of, let's say, 3 to 6 months when everything is back to normal, hopefully?
mhm.
Will Virginia Power then want to collect the monies that they're owed during this time?
Absolutely, the thing. Every bill that you owe, you're still going to owe. And
Right.
so I don't wanna make a blanket statement and just say yes or no, you should do one or the other. It really just depends on each person's unique financial situation. But what I will say and stress is that if you're in a situation right now where you can afford to pay your bills, pay them. Because you don't know what's coming down the pipe again. And if you are allowing your Dominion bill to, get larger, right, trying to hold on to what you have now, and you have no plan to what you have now, and you spend it, right, something else happens, you don't wanna find yourself in a situation where you've done that you're not gonna be able to get out of.
Right.
So, yes, if
That's
you
good.
can pay your bills, absolutely pay your bills.
Great.
Only
Okay.
use that option if you have to.
That's good. Yeah, I think we need to clarify that.
Yeah,
That's why I asked that question because, like I was thinking, yes, you're still going to owe that money. So if you have it, then just go ahead and pay it.
absolutely.
Okay, great. All right.
Uh,
And step 4.
so step 4 is really, around I'm sorry, I made notes for myself because I wanted to make sure I didn't forget it. So step 4 is around diversify your income. So
Okay.
we've heard it perhaps time and time again, is not to put all of your eggs in one basket, right?
Right.
The majority of us, have one job and we have one paycheck coming in. But this is an opportunity for us to start thinking about diversifying and having multiple streams of income. Now, I'm not talking about you're gonna build an empire, right,
Right.
in the midst of COVID-19, but you could start.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking more micro business. I'm thinking more, home-based business. Everybody, I believe, has a skill or talent of some sort that they can use to bring in a source of income. If I could wax lyrical for just a minute, in the Bible, the woman who didn't have enough, and I'm paraphrasing here, she went
Yeah.
to the prophet Elijah and he asked her, he said, "What do you have in your home? Like, what do you have in what do you have at your disposal, right, that can be used to help you get your needs met?" And
Right.
so that's one of the things that I'm gonna encourage people to be thinking about. What skill, what gift, what talent, what resource do you have available that you can use to be able to generate some income for yourself? And if it's that you don't necessarily have a need for that income right away, it could be a great place to start with setting aside money and savings.
Absolutely. That's a great point because, we all have something in our house, like you said, that
Mhm,
you can use to
mhm,
bring additional income in your house, in your hand. We all have those gifts and talents that we're not using maybe in our 9 to 5 job.
correct.
What's your passion? What are you passionate about? And can you
Absolutely,
use that passion and turn it into a profit? So
absolutely.
again, that too is another shift in the mindset, because I don't know about you, but COVID-19 has allowed me the opportunity to think outside the box. I was telling
Mhm.
a group, some people think inside the box, some people think outside the box. Right now, I don't even know where the box is, because
Yeah,
I'm just, and you have this time, this quiet time, which is what you need to really delve into yourself and find
yeah,
out some of those hidden talents, or some of the passions that you had when you were younger,
yeah,
going back and finding your younger self and
yes.
see those things that you were excited about back then, and kind of, grab hold of those things, and I'm sure that you can find something that you can do. So that is a great point, to have an additional stream of income.
I'm glad you said something a minute ago, that when we were children, it is typically the best indicator of, who we're going to be, right? In innocence. When I was in the 3rd grade, I was entrepreneurial. I didn't know that's what it was.
Right.
Um, but I tell the story all the time in workshops. The people in my household used to, say 4-letter words, curse words, and I
Uh-huh.
never liked it. And so I decided I was going to charge for cuss words.
There you go.
And so one summer I had amassed like $100, you know?
Really? There was a lot of cussing
It
going.
was it was a lot of cussing going on, right? And it was a lucrative business. But the idea that I had the wherewithal to think to myself, "I'm gonna charge for that." That's entrepreneurial,
That's
right?
right.
So, whoever is listening, if you see that emerging in your children, nurture that gift and then encourage that in them, one, right? But then
Right.
also for ourselves, during this time of being in quarantine, like you said, I have
Right.
been very intentional about being silent and listening to what
Yes.
God is saying
That's
and
right.
positioning myself, because when I emerge from this, I want to be better. I want to be more equipped to do what I've been purposed and called to do,
Mm.
at a greater level and in a way that is going to be impactful for people, not just
Absolutely.
for myself. And so I would encourage people to take this time, to, just sit and be
Right.
prayerful and just ask, and God is faithful to answer, for
Yes.
wisdom and direction on how it is that you're supposed to be able. The Bible says, He has given us the ability to get wealth, right?
Yes, he
And so
has.
why not just go back to the source and ask Him,
Ask.
right? Ask,
Absolutely.
ask.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I just want to put that out there.
Coach LaShawn is on the call here, and she said necessity is the mother of all inventions, and that is
Absolutely,
so true.
absolutely.
So
Mhm.
true. Yes. Okay, so we're going on to number
Number
5.
Yes. So number 5, and this is the last tip that I have for today, is understand your relationship with money. This is the bedrock and the foundation of the financial coaching work that I do. I started off by telling you I worked for a local nonprofit. That's how I got started with financial coaching. And one of the things that happened is we were working with participants, helping them to purchase their first home over a 5-year period of time. So everything happened in phases. So by the time you got to the 4th phase of the program, that meant we were getting ready to purchase a home for you, rehab it, and then rent it to you for a year, and then they would purchase it the following year. Well, I had some clients in the program who got to the 4th year, right? Not just the
Nice.
4th step, but the 4th year in the program, and they would do something to sabotage their ability to move forward. And so I was like, "God, why would somebody do that? Why would somebody spend 4 years in a program and get to the very end and then do the thing that we told them not to do?" So any of you who are homeowners, you know, when you're going through that process, what does your loan officer say? Don't get anything on credit. Don't buy nothing, don't
Exactly.
do nothing, right?
Right.
And we had clients that were doing that, and I was like, why would somebody do that?" And I took a class for myself personally, just for my own personal growth on core beliefs. And in that class, I got the revelation that what we believe, what we really believe, if it doesn't line up with what we're saying, there's a disconnect, right? And
Right.
ultimately, we're not going to have the thing that we say that we really want. So that sent me down this road of really beginning to understand why people do the things they do, human behavior.
Yeah.
We partnered with Virginia Commonwealth University. We did a study with those participants. And what we found out is that some of them, even though they were going through the motions of the program, they never believed from the onset that they could be homeowners. Some
Right.
of them were gonna be first-time generation homeowners, um, and so when they went back to their prospective communities, right, outside of our office, they didn't have the support, that they needed. And so
Mhm.
anyway, what I began to understand is that understanding what your relationship with money, what your beliefs and values are around money is just as important as sitting in a financial literacy class and learning about budgeting, how to rebuild your credit. And so one of the things that I like to leave with the people today is to really sit down and think about what are your values as it relates.
Mhm.
Oftentimes, the things that we live out of, the way that we go about earning, spending, saving, giving, or investing money is oftentimes based upon what we saw in our family of origin, right?
Mhm.
Based upon other people's expectations and beliefs, but not necessarily our own, right?
Right.
And then the second thing is once you're clear about what is important to you, why do you value money? Like, what is the purpose of money for you beyond just meeting your basic needs? Because money is a tool. It's supposed to
Exactly.
be meant to do some other things, help you, live out your purpose. And
Right.
so after you've thought about what your values are, then think about setting an intention, right?
Mhm.
Oftentimes what we do is we think about what we want to do and we automatically skip to goal setting,
Mhm.
not really thinking about how we need to make sure that we're aligning actions, our intentions with what we say our values are. So we really should be living out of value rather than out of goal. Does that make
Ah,
sense?
that makes a lot of sense.
Right?
That makes a lot of sense.
So yeah, so think about what your values are, set your intentions, and then set your goals. And you can always look back at your goals to make sure that it's leading you towards what you say is really important for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Our ways of knowing, that's what I always call it. Our ways of knowing is a reflection of who we were when we were younger, and
Mhm,
everything that we went through, every trial, every tribulation, every good thing. That is how we form our ways of knowing. And
mhm,
like you said, with that and coupling that with our values and our relationship with money, it's something that we have to do. It's necessary. I can remember about a year or two ago when I worked with a group of ladies, and we were talking about various things: financial goals, career goals, what they wanted to do, what they wanted to gain from this course that we were going through.
mhm,
And while I believed that they could accomplish whatever they set their minds to,
Mhm.
they did not actually believe it.
Right.
They went, they went through module after module and everything was yay, yay,
Mhm.
yay. And then when you get to the end, there was no forward movement past the class.
Right.
And
Right.
so you're right when you say that. And we have to do more of that when it comes to our finances, because that's the only way we're really going to reach our goals. Because, like you said, money is the tool, money is the vehicle that gets us to
Mhm.
where we want to go.
Absolutely. The
Yeah.
other thing I'd like to stress is that when we're in the midst of crises, right? We all have these core longings that need to be met. And one in particular is around safety and security, right? And so when we're not feeling safe and secure, it triggers fear in us. And when we're in fear mode, it either puts us in a place of fight, flight,
Right.
or freeze, right? And so
Uh-huh.
that applies to our money as well, how we show up during these times. And so I want to encourage people, I've heard and seen in the grocery stores where people are hoarding toilet paper and paper towels and food, chicken and beef and whatnot. And, and so what that does is it's speaking to scarcity. It's speaking to lack.
Lack.
And the message is that there's not enough and that it creates this level of competition, right? Where
Right.
we then are no longer thinking about the greater good of all. We're only thinking about ourselves and what we need for
Right.
our household. And that is not healing, and it's not what is going to move us forward individually or collectively. And so I want people to be mindful that, and don't get me wrong, I understand the struggle is real. We oftentimes have more months than we have money. I get
Right.
that. But what I'm saying is, if you can hear it, is that there is enough
Mm.
to go around for all of us.
There is
There is
enough.
enough.
Yes.
There is enough.
We have a question here. LaShawn says, do you think a person should understand their money mindset before they start a business or investing money or something like that?
Absolutely. So one of the assessment tools that I do with my clients is we do a money personality assessment. And I do that with you, whether you're coming to me for personal financial reasons or business, because how you handle your personal finances is an indicator of how you manage your business and
Hmm.
make business decisions. So yes.
Yes, that's really good. That's really good. Great. All right. So I know I had when I introduced you, we talked a little bit about the Mocha Money meetups.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So the Mocha Money meetup got started as a means of just encouraging people to talk about money. Traditionally, in African American communities specifically, we don't talk about money, right? What we learn is typically secondhand in some fashion or form. And oftentimes people have questions and they feel ashamed or embarrassed because they think they should know. And I wanted to, do something to dispel all of that and bring people together in an intimate and sacred, safe space where we could have those conversations about financial topics. And so, the second Saturday of every month, we would get together, have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and talk about different things as it relates to money. Because again, for me, everything is rooted in relationship with money. So we
Hmm.
always talk about practical things around budgeting, savings, and so forth. But also, I wanted to take it deeper. And so we would have conversations about food and money. We'd
Ah,
have, yeah, we'd have conversations about how your faith and your spirituality plays a part in your
uh-huh.
financial decisions. We talked about, um, um, are you an under and what that's composed of. So we, last year, we met for an entire year. We were slated for, of course, this year, and I'm looking to move the Mocha Money sessions to an online format. I've not done that yet. Like I said, now that we're in this crisis, I believe that it calls for something different, and so
Yeah.
I'm being very intentional about what those subjects are going to be going forward.
Okay. Okay, so the Mocha Money meetups are on the second Saturday of every month, and they will be coming back probably on an online format. And
Yeah.
they do, you all do have a private Facebook group
Yes.
that you can request to
Yes.
join. So, ladies, I would definitely recommend that you go on Facebook, and you're on Facebook now. So after this is over, go right on over to Mocha Money Meetup and request membership in that group so that you can stay abreast as to the things that are coming. I think that's an excellent idea. And I think it will be very beneficial to a lot of women. So, ladies, please do that. Well, Salathia, our
Beverly,
time is just, yes, go ahead.
it's open to men as well.
Okay.
Men and
Okay.
couples
Men
and
and women.
yes.
Okay, great. Men and women. Wonderful. So I have really enjoyed this time with you. Definitely, I have learned a lot. And this will be on our Purpose Bound Women page. So if you missed it, or if you have friends that missed it, please do a watch party with them, and let's get this information out, because what we do with our money is oh so important to our financial stability, and especially during this time. This broadcast has, Salathia has outlined a lot of helpful tips that you can use. So please share. And thank you so much for, just sharing and pouring your heart out and allowing us to learn how to have a better relationship with our money. Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much.
having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are listening, we will be back here tomorrow with more information from our coaches. Check our Facebook page. We have some more wisdom for Wednesday with our love coach, LaShawn, Coach LaShawn. So join us again tomorrow, and you all have a great day.